Honorable greetings to you, my fellow royals of Alubera and also Kairi, which is Tobago and Trinidad. It is yours truly, Her Highest Imperial Majesty, Goddess MD Trinity L, Amerindian Indigenous Goddess, Queen, Clan Mother of the Royal Family of Alubera, as well as Matriach of Alubera and Kairi, Free Sovereign Diplomat Beneficiary, Grantor and Trustee of Ternicka Mahabal as well. So it is a beautiful rise, a very amazing rise. I give much appreciation to the breath of life in us all in this rise. Much love, much justice, and much honor as well too. So in this moment, this recording will be, not just will, but this recording here is addressing all members of the central government of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as all corporate entities known as the banking systems. All members of the Tobago House of Assembly as well too is included. And to you, my fellow beings, my fellow royals, my indigenous beings, and every other being residing here on the motherland of Alubera and Kairi, this also goes out to you so that you are aware of what is being mentioned. So in this moment, I, Highest Imperial Majesty, do operate in my jurisdiction as such, as the Indigenous Queen, Clan Mother, and also the Sovereign Diplomats. I operate in my full jurisdiction in this moment onwards. Before any corporate government space or any corporate entity has operated on our motherland, my fellow indigenous beings, which is myself and my ancestors, have always had our own system of government and governance through the natural order. So with this imposition and also colonization through the etiquette of a corporate entity body and their sanctions that has enslaved my fellow indigenous beings, we are now going to take into that initiative through the operations of myself as Her Highest Imperial Majesty, moving ahead from this moment on. Okay, so in this present, I will be speaking to the Prime Minister, to the Minister of Finance, as well to the President, in addition to the Chief Secretary, Finance Minister also, and all corporate banking entities here on the motherland of Tobago and Trinidad. So in this moment, I would be as a matter of fact, I am going to say further that the Royal Family of Alubera, chaired by myself, Her Highest Imperial Majesty, will be addressing the circumstance where we will collect $73 million as compensation to begin for now, compensation for damages that has been occurring for some time now, as well as also to accept and utilize as a donation towards the upliftment and development of Ether's Nest Healing Sanctuary. This Community Protection Restoration Initiative is a CPR initiative that will be uplifting us out of the whole downspur of continued crime, corruption, and darkness of bloodshed and unhappiness that is actually taking our lands into a land state that is less fruitful and less healthy for the well-being of our children who are growing into adulthood. So in this moment, in this present, I, Highest Imperial Majesty, do operate as the highest order entity of governance and government when it concerns any operations going through, to, and from the motherland, and anything that occurs thereof with our financial circumstance, with our wealth restoration as well too, and also whatsoever occurs with the security and well-being of my indigenous beings. So in this moment, fellow royal beings, I address Keith Christopher Rowley as well as Mr. Stuart Young. Additional to them both, I would also speak to the Attorney General, who is Faris Alwari, in addition to Colm Inbert, Finance Minister. In these operations, I speak to all CEOs of all banks as well too, to also be aware and updated with the operations of the Indigenous Queen, as the Indigenous being, who is myself, do hold and have the highest jurisdiction in the natural order above any corporate entity who has came afterward in a colonizing sanction scope. In this order of address, I also address Chief Secretary Farley Chavez Augustine, who is also the Finance Minister, in addition to the Presiding Officer, and also as well as, my apologies, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, in addition to the Speaker of the House, all members of Parliament, as a matter of fact. So in this retrospect, $73 million will be a compensation for the highest Imperial Majesty, Goddess MD Trinity Ether's Nest Community Protection Restoration project, that is the whole development of a healing sanctuary. This healing sanctuary is necessary so that we are able to have a space where many of our fellow royal beings are welcomed to have the comfort and the liberation to allow themselves to heal from all the traumas that they have been facing over the years. Should we allow traumas to be recycled much longer, we would only be encouraging a land that would not be able to illuminate divine light. Aside from this, allowing my indigenous peoples to be recognized, acknowledged, honored, and respected is of great importance, as I have also seen where we will have to defend ourselves so that we do not fall into the trap of colonization. I have seen where it is also seeming to be in occurrence should we not stand or even represent in our jurisdiction as indigenous beings. We are allowing foreign entities to take charge and control of our greater well-being, and it should not be the case. It just addressed here fellow Prime Minister Keith Christopher Rowley, I, Highest Imperial Majesty, letting you know respectfully and honorably, as the Indigenous Goddess, Queen, and Clan Mother of the Royal Family of Alubera, that the compensation of $73 million will be given to us here for the development and upliftment of Ether's Nest Healing Sanctuary. This as well will be through the method of checks that will be utilized through the bank as well too. We would use one bank. We would go with the First Citizens Bank, which is the corporate bank as well too under the central government. We would utilize the First Citizens Bank and have our checks processed accordingly. Additional to this, we would also request to also have in compensation the machinery that would be necessary to be utilized, and we ourselves would screen fellow royal beings for the operations of the labor when it comes to the labor etiquette and force towards developing this space. So my fellow royal beings, I do hope that you are paying attention to this address. I would also mention that within the scope of 31 days, I do expect to see some sort of result of the $73 million to us all.